Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rekah Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing his word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom. This is your brother Kwana Wath, coming with another quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And, tonight, I just want to touch on this article that brothers have posted in the chat. And it reads, the earth only has a 3-month supply of food. If production stops, humanity has nothing to eat in 90 days, right? It's going into the prophecy of the famines that are going to, strike the earth, man. Namely Babylon the Great, which is, known as America. There's going to be, mass shortages, mass famines, which is going to, ultimately lead to mass deaths, man. People being put to death for lack of food, and I'll get that in Second Esdras. But I'm gonna read this article, just read a little bit, and get into some scriptures. So back to the title. The earth only has a 3-month supply of food. If production stops, humanity has nothing to eat in 90 days. We are far closer to a potential global cataclysm than most people would dare to imagine. Right now, leaders from all across the political spectrum are openly warning us that a worldwide food crisis is coming, right? And why is that, man? Ultimately it's because of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. He's crippling this place, bit by bit, to destroy this wicked system. But, we can see the elites are trying to destroy the financial system, and then have the people under their full subjection, man. And there's part of that is having the food under their complete control, man. So they're gonna force people. This is a what's the word? Manufactured famine, man. So the war that they have going on, that's holding back grain and fertilizer and causing prices and things to skyrocket. That's gonna destabilize the current monetary system. All this is to bring in that new world order, man. Ultimately, to bring in that charagma, man. That implantable, buy or sell device. But that's all starting. This famine is a what's the word? A side effect of all these things, man. And it's gonna be a lot of people that are put to death behind this, man. Continuing on. But when the people in the Western world hear of such warnings, most of them assume that it will just be something that affects poor people in Africa or Asia, right? Because this place has, been overrun with convenience, man. People are used to getting things now, right? It's that I gotta have it now spirit on people, man. There's no patience. This is a gluttonous society. And, they assume that everything is going to be all hunky-dory, but they don't know that it's going to be mass casualties out here, man. People starving to death for lack of bread, man. Continuing on. Unfortunately, that will not be the case this time around. We truly are in unprecedented territory, and we are going to see things happen in the months ahead that once would have been absolutely unthinkable, right? Hey, you see the state of places like Venezuela, or like they said in Africa, or in these Asian countries. Once you get outside the city, man, it's abject poverty, man. People are in squalor, man. That if an American had to live in the state, or live in the conditions that the people of these other countries live in, man, they would lose their fucking minds. They wouldn't last, and that's what's coming to this place, man. Part of the the shock that's going to happen is the fact that none of these people are prepared to have to make that 180 change, man. You know, to be, you might have to be homeless out here, man. You might have to learn how to live off the land. But people are so used to being given whatever they want that they're going to willingly, you know, succumb to the beast system, man. But you know, before that happens, people are going to be put through terrible starvations, man. You know, this global hunger crisis is about to strike, and it's going to strike hard. Continuing on, global hunger had already been steadily rising for the past couple of years due to the COVID pandemic, and now a confluence of events here in 2022 threatens to create a true global nightmare, right? Hey, hey, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, shot, man, because this is exactly what we were watching for, man. That's why we've been put on our watch, so that we can warn the people, man. You know, scriptures say, warn them of me, man. You know, this is the Lord's doing. He's bringing these famines. He's bringing these pestilences, man. You know, He's the one who's unleashing that new COVID variant that's, you know, hitting the airwaves, right? Um, Continuing on. At this moment, we are still eating food that was previously grown, but it is the food that will not be grown in the months ahead that will be the real problem, right? Because what these stupid ass Americans don't understand is that the food that they're eating now was grown last year. And what happened during this pandemic, man? You know, they shut down all the grow operations, and what's going on now is a fertilizer shortage because the price of the ingredients has skyrocketed, man. Um, you know, that we can read that further down in this article. You know, I'm gonna post it in the description for brothers who want to read. It's a good read, but I'm not gonna go through the whole thing just for time's sake. But you know, the point getting into the article, man, is that you know it's a mass famine that's coming to this place, man, and it's all the will of the Lord. Let me see where we at. That's basically the point on the article. You know, the earth only has a 3-month supply of food, so you know if there's a halt in the food supply chain, man, uh, if they can't get that up and running, man, then there's gonna be a mass hunger out here, man. People are gonna be starving to death out here, man. People are gonna be eating each other out here, man. It's gonna be like The Road. It's gonna be like Book of Eli. You know, all these movies where all these cataclysmic events occurred and there was no food. You know, people are gonna be you know, resulting to drastic measures to fill their appetites, man. But let's get some scriptures here. I'll start here in Jeremiah 15:2. Let's pull it up. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, such as are for death to death, and such as are for the sword to the sword, and such as are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity, right? You know, the point being, man, you know, the Lord has, you know, all those that are to be judged. Their destiny is already sealed, man. You know, so those people who are meant to die during these plagues are gonna die. Those people that are meant to die by the sword, you know, the gun, or you know, whatever manner of you know, killing instrument, that's what's gonna happen. You know, those that are meant to go into the captivity, man, going to these FEMA camps, going to you know, put in these prisons, that's what's gonna happen. You know, those that are to die during this famine, you know, that's what's gonna happen, man. And the famine, you know, the sword and these other things, it continues on and goes into dogs to tear, and the fowls of heaven, and beasts to devour. Well, I'll just read it. It's like it. Verse 3, Jeremiah 15:3. And I will appoint over them four kinds, saith the Lord, the sword to slay, and dogs to tear, and the fowls of heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy, right? So, people are going to be getting mauled by wild animals, man, getting eaten by these animals out here. Scriptures say there'll be newly created beasts. So it's going to be things that you've never seen before out here, mauling these people. It's going to be like that movie The Mist, man. It's going to be monstrous creatures out here, taking people out. But the point I wanted to get was that, all those ways, though they may be painful, there's nothing that's as painful as, starving to death, right? Because, you withering away, man. Your body is eating itself, right? That's why you see the state of these people in these third world countries, man. Their ribs are showing. They're basically just skin and bones because they're just wasting away. And that's a slow, painful death, man. And that's something that, man, you wouldn't wish that on anybody. But let's get what is it? Lamentations 4 and 19. Salakia. Is it 4? Salakia. 4 and 9. Salakia. God. This is Lamentations chapter 4, verse 9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. Man. So it's saying, man, to die by the sword at the end is better to have to die by not eating, man. And that's what's going to be coming to this place, man. It's going to be people just, well, let's continue on. For these pine away, stricken through the want of fruits of the field, right? So, you're going to want food, you're going to want access to food, but you're either not going to be able to afford it, or it's not going to be there for you, right? Or, even worse, you're going to have to take that karag, my man. You're going to have to submit to the beast. You're going to have to bow the knee to the beast system and take that implantable buy or sell device, man. You're going to have to, and even then that, that's not going to be an escape. Because, like I said, so are those to, those go to the those for the famine are to the famine, those to the sword are to the sword, roughly paraphrasing it. But, that famine, speaking on it, back to the article, that's what's coming to come across the whole world, man. The whole earth is going to be subject to this, man. The Lord is sending plagues upon this place, and Babylon the Great is going to get it the worst, but the whole world is going to feel that wrath, man. Let's go to Sirach. Not Sirach, Salakia. Second Ezra 15. And we'll start. We can start in verse. We'll start in verse 15 or 14. Salakia. This is Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world, meaning destruction to this place, and them that dwell therein. And so these people, man, that want to hold on to this society. For the world and their destruction draweth nigh. It's like for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, right? So it's going into, you know, the civil wars, man. It's gonna be, people, neighborhoods fighting against each other. It's gonna be, families fighting against each other. But, it's gonna get into that, man. Verse 16. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power, right? So these people, they're not going to regard these police officers or military personnel or congressmen, governors, all these high power figures. They're not going to regard them, because at that point they're not going to have any value. That's if those people can't save themselves, why would the people, uh, the regular people, quote unquote, why would they care about their opinions or what they have to say, man? A lot of these police officers are even gonna end up just, allowing people to commit these crimes, because they care more about themselves and their families than, keeping the job. But like I said, it's the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So people are just gonna be, doing as they will, man. Right? That purge spirit, man. There's a reason why they put those movies out there like that, because those things are, to come to pass, man. Brothers go into the word television, and that word, I believe, teleos means to say before, and, a vision. And so it's a vision of the future, man. Actually, let's pull that up. Let's go to the etymology. Television. So that telly. So, word forming element meaning far or far off, operating over a distance. From the Greek tele, far off or far, right? So, it's a vision from afar, man. Basically saying what the future is gonna look like, man. What their planned future is, man. This is their vision for the future. Every time you see something on television, that's their vision for the future. So like, yeah, continuing on. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, right? So all these cities are going to be shut down, man. We can see the infrastructure that they've put in place to keep people, what's the word, sheltered in place, right? Okay, so it's like it. But yeah, we see the way they have these cities built up, is to keep everybody, reined in one hot spot, man, in one area, so they can easily control them. And then they can cut off most cities only have like one or two exits, right? Through the highways, maybe four. But, there's only a few ways to get out of these cities, and they can just block those off easily, man. So, it's going to be impossible for some people to get out of here, man. But that's why, scriptures say, be ye as pilgrims, man, because, the men of the Lord, some of us are going to have to, move around, man, go through the wilderness, right? Live as nomads, man. But then there are those who may get taken up and put in these concentration camps and things of that nature. That's something you have to, that'll be part of your walk, man, part of your lot. It's like, verse 18, for because of the pride of the cities, it's like it, for because of their pride the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and the men shall be afraid, right? So it's going to be absolute terror out here, man. You see the mirth of this place. You see the Bacchus spirit that's upon these people. You see the what's the word? Carefree attitudes that people carry. when we're in the midst of serious prophecies going out, man, and serious judgment is on the horizon. But only the elect will be able to see it, man. Lord willing, will give you that number, you know, to endure, right? Because that's what's going to take, man. Faith and endurance. Verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of lack of bread and for great tribulation, right? So people are going to be losing their jobs. People are going to have no money. It's going to come to a point where food is going to be so expensive that, it's easier to just go break in your neighbor's house than to try to go buy something. And then even then, it's going to get to where there's no food at all, man, because people are going to say, fuck it, man, we're just going to rob the stores. And once the shelves are empty, then people are going to be, running through houses, man, with mobs of people, man, snatching up little kids and eating them, man. It's going to be terrible times out here, man. But that's why it says, for the lack of bread and for great tribulation, man. That tribulation, man, is all the turmoils that are going to come upon this place, man. Let's go to chapter 16. And we'll start in verse I'll start in verse 19. This is 2nd Ezra 16, verse 19. Behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for amendment, right? So this is all for correction, man. This is strengthening and purifying the elect, but it's sent for judgment to those who don't believe, man, and the heathens. 2/3 of our people and the heathen are gonna get harsh judgment, man. Verse 20, but for all these things they shall not turn away from their wickedness, nor always be mindful of the scourges, man. So, the wicked are going to be wicked, man, at the end of the day. They have to be put to death on this side in order to come into the kingdom righteously, man. Lord willing, we be the men who are purified through these events and are of the elect number, man. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. Right, so people, you go to the dollar store, you go to get you something off the 4 off of Wendy's, right? Whatever, you eating fast food in 2022, man, you through, but that's another story. But people, things, at least they were cheap, and you see the inflation increasing, man. The hyperinflation is on the way, man. So, hey, live it up while you while you can, Esau, right? Because it's gonna come to a point where even you aren't gonna be able to to what's the word, enjoy the fruits out here, man. You're gonna be right here, right there at the bottom with the 2/3, man. You're gonna get knocked off that high horse. It's like all you, 6-figure job holders and things like that. All that is gonna be for naught, man. Riches profited not in the day of wrath. Because look, who cares if you can afford to get the food when there is no food, right? What you gonna do then, man? If you don't have Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shah on your side, then there's no hope for you, man. It's like continuing on, verse 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion, right? Because people aren't going to know what's going on out here, man. They're going to they're gonna be running around like chickens with their heads cut off, man. We've seen the way people act when they heard that there wasn't gonna be no more toilet paper. Was so much more when they hear it's not gonna be any more food, right? We see, down here in the South, people lose their minds when they hear it's about to snow. buying up all the bread, milk, and eggs. But how much more chaos is it going to be when this whole society collapses, man? When this whole infrastructure is, brought to its knees, man. Uh, and that's what's going to force people into getting that charagma, man. Going back to that, this famine is these elites, you know, what's the word? Strong arming these people, man, because they're gonna put you in a position where you take this and eat, or you don't take it and not eat, right? But what Yahweh Shemel Shah say? My servants will eat, man. So if you you come to Yahweh Shemel Shah, you're gonna be taken care of, man. Like, we have no worries, right? We're not afraid of Esau, man. We're afraid of Yahweh Shemel Shah. That's the true fear. Because Esau can't do nothing but take your body out of here, man. And look, we want to be out of here. So if it comes down to it, then so be it. But the Lord, He controls the spirits, man. And we don't want to be on the bad side, on His bad side, man. We already on His bad side right now. He's showing us mercy. If we don't hearken to that mercy, then it's over for you. Verse 22. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. And that's one of the worst ways to go, like we read in Lamentations chapter 4. It's you pine away, man. Your body starts to eat itself, man. You become just skin and bones, man. Brothers, you can look it up. Brothers and sisters, a few sisters that watch these videos, look it up. Go see what somebody looks like after they haven't eaten, man. That's starvation, man. Even you see the little African kids or the little Hamites down there, ribs touching and all things like that, man. With the flies landing all on them and stuff. Y'all seen the videos, but that's a terrible way to go, man. That's a painful way to go. You rather it be quick than what's the word? Elongated, right? Verse 22 again. For many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish in the famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Right. So even if you manage to escape the famine, you're gonna die by the sword, man, by some weapons or one of these spirits created for vengeance, man. There's no escaping the judgment of Yahweh Shemel Shai, right? But going back to that article, man, it's a global food crisis is on the horizon, man. That's part of the economic collapse that's being orchestrated out here, and that famine is going to be, judgment for large groups of people, man. So, I pray that lesson was edifying to the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. I want to close by giving all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, pushing this word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom, wa, Kwam Yasharala, wa, abad babal. DTA soon, man. We almost home. Shalom.